a very good afternoon to you. I'm Richard Kaufman. Welcome to the Yonex Suffolk County Community College US Open. Yep, we're in New York on the northeast coast of the United States of America. The first Grand Prix gold event since the race for the Olympics for Rio 2016 began. This the 7th event of the Grand Prix Gold Series, the first since New Zealand at the beginning of May. Of course, we'll be off to Chinese Taipei in July, finishing up in Indonesia at the beginning of December. But extra significance with this being one of the qualifying events, world ranking points up for grabs for Rio. This is what we've got lined up for you today. Some great characters out on courts. 9 nations represented in the 10 matches that'll be on the 2 courts. These are the matches that we'll see on the show court, starting with the men's singles match. The #1 seed Chou, Chen taking on Hans-Kristian Vittinghus. Then women's doubles, followed by the mixed doubles. Lee Chong-wei, of course, eagerly anticipated his first singles quest since coming back. And then we finish off the day with a men's doubles match between the Japanese pair Kimura and Sonoda up against Atri and Reddy of India.
This match is David Carton, USA.
So the players being introduced for the first match out on court, and it's 2 players in their first semi-finals of 2015. Chen of Chinese Taipei up against Hans-Kristian Vittinghus of Denmark. Of course, the winner will take on Lee Chong-wei or Pisai Pranith, who made in our 4th match out on court.
Ladies and gentlemen, please warmly welcome the semi-finalists of the men's singles. From Chinese Taipei, Tien.
So here is Tien. Last year's beaten finalist, the #1 seed.
And from Denmark, Hans-Kristian Vittinghus.
Vittinghus, the #18 player in the world, ended 2014 on such a high. Been a little bit of a struggle since then, but a real opportunity, not just for him, but both these players here this afternoon. Both these players with an opportunity to make their first final of the year. They've never met before. Both pretty experienced campaigners. The Dane, 29, Chou, 25 years of age. Usual preliminaries from American umpire there to see who will serve first, who will be at which end.
Please extend a warm welcome to our technical officials on court 2. Umpire for this match is Andrew Williams.
Straight games win yesterday for Chou Tien against Takuma Ueda in straight games. As for Vittinghus, well, it's been pretty straightforward since he came through in a pretty marathon match in the first round against Zulfadli Zulkifli of Malaysia, coming through 25-23 in the 3rd. Here's Chou then, world ranked #7. Not really kicked on in 2015 after winning his first Super Series event at the French Open back in last November. As you can see, #1 seed here this week, so expected, according to the seeds, to progress all the way through to the final, but got a tough task ahead of him up against Vittinghus. And their confirmation tricky task in the first round against Kaisti of Finland, but ever since then he's made it through pretty straightforward. Vittinghus, who reached the Super Series finals final in Dubai at the end of last year, lost against Chen Long, seeded #3. As you can see, against the Malaysian Zulfadli Zulkifli, Match that lasted over an hour, but straight games wins ever since. Here is our umpire, Dave Carton.
As a reminder to all spectators,
And
no
Pedro
photography,
Garcia,
strobe lights, or video
our service
recording is
judge.
permitted during the course of games.
Well, you have to say it's a pretty tough one to call, this one, because obviously there's no history between these two players. Both haven't really been in the best of form so far in 2015. Both players making their route through to the semi-final like this, with Lee Chong-wei or Bis Sai Pranith waiting in the final. We'll see them in action a little bit later on. Second year that this US Open has been held here in Long Island. Previously in California. Best result in 2015 for Chou was reaching the quarterfinals of the All England, where he lost to Chen Long. Last time out, lost to the teenager Jonathan Christie in the first round of the Indonesian Open. Second round defeat in Australia as well, and it's been a similar story for Vittinghus, who and he actually won one match coming into this week's event in 6 events.
On my right, Hans-Kristian Vittinghus, Denmark. On my left, Tien, Chinese Taipei. Hans-Kristian Vittinghus to serve, love all, play.
So we're underway then in these semi-finals of the US Open. Denmark against Chinese Taipei, Chou against Vittinghus.
One, love.
Long from Chou there. By Vittinghus. That's going to be long as well.
Two,
There has
love.
been a fair bit of drift in this court. The players were talking about it. In fact, Vittinghus, after his win yesterday, was saying he felt he handled the drift in this court very well. Let's see if it's up to the lights there, of course.
Two.
Being on TV, the players obviously have light shining down on them. Sometimes can affect their overheads. Nice rally, wasn't it?
2 all.
Obviously any moisture on the court, players want it mopped up, so you don't want to be forced to slip, certainly not early in the match like this one. Another a new champion in the men's singles in 2015, last couple of years. Been won by the Vietnamese player Nguyen Tien Minh, who beat Chou in the final last year in 3 games.
Number 4, 3 all.
Again, Vittinghus just having a look up to the lights. That's 2 overheads. Well, he hasn't quite timed it right.
Five, 3.
start for Chou, Tien, Chen. Both these players, that's long from Vittinghus. Both these players suffering a lot of early exits in various events this year, but feels like for many of the players since the Sudamin Cup, a chance for a fresh start, really start trying to build and make that top 16 ahead of the end of the qualification period for Rio. Every player's dream, obviously, to be at the Olympics next year. Got that one right.
5, 6. Service over. 7, 5.
No doubt about this one. Easily out. Well, that's 3 out of 4 for Vittinghus now, where he's found the net going for the overhead, and sometimes can get into a player's mind, can't it? Interesting to see if he keeps trying to play the overheads.
9, 5.
And you have to say, of the two players, scoreline tells the story. Chou has started the more solidly. That's wide.
10, 5.
Yeah, it was a little short. It was there to be hit. Another one netted from Vittinghus. It's a pretty commanding advantage at the first interval then for Chou, Tien, the #1 seed, 11 points to 5. Very early stages, of course, in this match, but Vittinghus will be a little frustrated there, a lot of unforced errors. A lot of points gifted to what's been a very sort of dependable start from Chou.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Play.
Well, he was talking after his win yesterday on social media, writing his feelings, Vittinghus, and saying that he had his down moments in his quarter-final match yesterday. And he came through, it has to be said, in the end very easily against Kenta Nishimoto. But, to work hard on not getting down on himself, and he's come out since the interval firing. 2 points out of 2, narrowed the gap to 4 points. Working very hard on the mental side of things. 29 now, Vittinghus. It's a question of now or never, really, in his career. He's threatened so much. Just long.
Service over. 12, 7.
Well left by Chou. Chou. Had to fight hard for it.
13-7.
Some really good tight net shots, and then in the end, Vittinghus netting. Re-establishes Chou's 6-point lead that he had at the interval. Well placed.
Service over. 8-13.
Didn't cost him. Just found the line.
Service over. 14-8.
That must have been just long from Vittinghus there. Those kind of areas that can prove so costly. Chance to maybe close the gap there to 4 points, and now back it goes to 6. Good tight net shot from Chou. Lovely. Overhead down the line. Chou stayed down.
9-14.
He's absolutely fine, but he wasn't in a hurry to get up. He might have just fallen on his elbow slightly. The way he reacted, I wondered if he was actually hurt, but maybe just pride hurt from losing the point. Yeah, getting frustrated, muttering to himself, Vittinghus. See this opening game getting away from him now. Knows he can be better than this. Chou's been so solid and dependable throughout, really. But now and again, you just see that spark from Vittinghus. It says there's a long way to go in this match. Good shot to the body, and then beautiful winner at the end of it all. Well, what's going on here is Chou again wants the court mopped up. The umpire, I think quite rightly, saying, you know, let's get on with things here. You know, umpire's got to beware. Sometimes players try it on with a bit of gamesmanship. This time, hesitation proved pretty vital on this occasion for Vittinghus. It's about judging that drift in the court. Comes from the air conditioning that's on here. It's actually not that hot today in New York. A bit of rain in the air, but of course very much undercover here in the Suffolk Community College here. seen that much of it, not really had to see that much of it from Chou. Hasn't had to play too many big winners.
10.
That's wide. You get the feeling now we're just playing, the point, the gap is too big that come back here in this opening game, very unlikely from Vittinghus. Too many of that in this opening game.
18-11.
Well, I know he's been working hard on the psychology of things with Jakob Hansen. He's going to have to dig deep here, Vittinghus. Pick himself up for what's inevitably going to be an opening game trail. That's beautifully placed by Chou, right on the line.
11.
That's wide, and game points have arrived already, and there's 9 of them for Chou. It's been an impressive display from the #1 seed. Well, he escapes 1 game point at least, Vittinghus.
20.
An unlikely one as well. Still another 8 to see off though. And there we go. Pretty comprehensive, wasn't it, from Chen there. Looking to reach the final of the US Open for the 2nd year in a row, and he's got 1 foot in there after what was a dominant first game that saw him take it by 21 points to 12. So more of the same, really, I should think, for Chou. Just keep it solid, keep the shadow in court. At the moment, he's played 1 or 2 excellent winners, but it's been this man's inability, really, to avoid the errors that have proved so costly. Now and again, some flashes of brilliance. The odd spark from Vittinghus, but you can feel he was getting down on himself. Chance to start afresh in a minute, though, with this 2nd game. Try and claw his way back into this match.
20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Yes. Second game. Level play.
Singles semi-final then. Advantage Chou. Fast start from Vittinghus.
Service over. 1 love.
It was a statement of intent, wasn't it? One straight up the body. An apology from Vittinghus. But inside he'll be more than happy with that. taken.
3.
Just the start to this second game that the Dane would have wanted. This was there for the taking. Short from Vittinghus, put wide though by Chou.
Service over.
Off the mark now though.
3. Two, 3.
Scratch of the head from Vittinghus there. Again, a couple of points kind of given to his opponent. Obviously, he wants to take the initiative here, as he's done on that point. It's a fine line, isn't it, between being positive, aggressive, and giving away errors. There's a case in point.
3, 4.
There's no doubt about it. Both these players experienced probably the highest points in their career at the end of 2014. Chou here winning the French Open, first Super Series title, and Vittinghus, well, the year-ending event in Dubai, the Super Series finals, going all the way to the final before losing out to Chen. And both players really been a little flat, been disappointed, as Vittinghus called it. 6 months of disappointment, really, in 2015 so far. Oh, played the point so well. Just a lack of concentration, maybe just took his eye off the shuttle a little here, but this was certainly one to put away. Can't believe it.
Service over. 7, 4. Yes.
Wide.
8, 4.
I was asked by one of the spectators before this match which way I thought this one would go, and I have to say I've had it. A tough one to call. Very much a 50-50 affair. And Vittinghus making the start to this second game that means we're threatened. The third game, a little fist pump there from the Dane. Open up a nice little gap now, hasn't it?
4.
That's good. Left by Chou mistakenly. Almost nonchalantly, really. Well, inside the line, wasn't it? Yes. Well, it's a comprehensive riposte from Hans-Kristian Vittinghus. Chou taking that opening game, but 11-4 now the Danes lead in the interval in game number 2. You have to say maybe just been a little too passive in the second game, Chou. But let's take nothing away from Vittinghus, who has come out firing. Done exactly what he needed to do. use that mental strength that he's been working so hard on.
Court 1, 20
And
seconds.
despite the odd error, he was very positive, very aggressive, and just upped his level a little bit as well. So important, cut out the number of errors he was showing in that opening game.
Play.
This time correctly left by
Service
Chou.
over. 5,
One-way
11.
back though. 6-point gap to retrieve it.
Six, 11.
Nothing Chou could do. Caught up in the net. Court was empty, but credit to Vittinghus for being positioned, because for a while it looked like it was a point he wasn't going to win.
Service over. 7,
This should go to
12.
a third game. Those are the kind of areas Vittinghus really has to cut out. He's often been in the shadows of one or two players from his nation that have been better than him. Of course, Peter Gader, Kenneth Jonassen, and more recently the likes of Jano Jorgensen and Victor Axelsen.
Service over. 13-7.
Not won since the Spanish International a couple of years ago, Vittinghus. Two wins last year for Chou.
Service over. 8-13.
Well, again,
Service
kind of
over.
inexplicable the way he left that one.
8.
Clearly going in. Kind of willing it out rather than any chance of it actually going out. Maybe trying to save his energy for what seems that inevitable third game right now. That's long.
15-8.
Well, it seems an impenetrable lead right now. May have been going out. And it's one back for Chou, but
Service over. 9-16.
long way to go if he's to retrieve this situation.
Ten, 16.
Well, a little runner point
11,
from Chou.
16.
Nothing to get too excited about yet. But the gap was 8. Now 5.
Service over. 17, 11. Change serve.
It's a little bit of sparring you feel now into the second game, trying to get yourself in the right shape. The momentum right now is with Vittinghus, who looks likely to tie it up at the game all. But some important points here for Chou as well, because get himself in the right frame for what's going to be a crucial decider. Both players have been in 3 gamers this week, at the start of the week. As comprehensive a set it was for Chou in the first, equally so for Vittinghus, it seems, in the second. And that's game points for him. And like Chou, he chalked up 9 game points in the first. Same story here for Vittinghus. That's short. That's one saved.
Correction, out.
Ah, well, not so. The umpires overruled it. Dave Carlton saying it was out, and the game goes the way of Vittinghus. We are heading for that third and deciding set now then, with Hans-Kristian Vittinghus taking it by 21 points to 11. So confirmation after 31 minutes on court. There will be a third set between these two players. Have a look at some of the highlights from this second game, and one dominated, of course, by the man in blue, Vittinghus. The overall for the winning point. Thumbs up from Vittinghus, and thumbs up to him as well. So it'll be interesting to see how we start at the beginning of this third game. Which way is the pendulum going to swing again, or is it going to keep moving towards this man here, Vittinghus? Terrific riposte to the way he lost that first game.
Final game. Love all. Play.
Ah!
Service over. 1 love.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that's a real body blow. And all manner of speaking from Chou Tien then. Anything that Vittinghus can do to try and get that back, although he came close to getting it over. Yes, really good start to this third game.
Service over. 1, 2. Out! Service over. 3, 1.
Good tight net shot, pretty good lift as well. Well, you can see the reaction from Chou there. Big point. Of course, it only counts as 1 on the scoreboard, but
4-1.
probably the longest rally in the match, and he finished it off very aggressively. Well, a little bit of fortune there for Vittinghus.
2,
Coming off the net and falling on the other side.
Yes, quick.
Umpire allowing Chou a quick towel down. Vittinghus taking the opportunity as well then. A really good tight net shot this time.
3,
Nothing fortunate about that one.
Four all.
Well, men's semi-finals, first offering of the day, and it's perfectly poised, isn't it? Short. Not taken and then netted. And the previous long rally, of course, went Chou's way. Since then,
5-4.
4 points in a row from Vittinghus. He's turned around from 4-1 down to 5-4 up in this deciding third set.
Service over.
You wouldn't want to call this one right now, would you?
Yes, quick.
Now has to tower down. There have been some big rallies, and of course, it doesn't come to someone's got 11 points, so fair way from that. Rallies have certainly been longer in this third game than previously. Short and sharp, wasn't it?
Service over. 6-5.
Oh, it's just a whisker wide.
Service over. 6-all.
Chou pretty relieved to see that one for the other side of the line. Reached the quarterfinals of the World Championships last year in Copenhagen.
Thank you. Six all. Service over. 7-6.
Suddenly Vittinghus opens up a little bit of a gap, a couple of errors. For the first time really in the match from Chou, you have to say, in the second game. It's a case of Vittinghus playing a lot of winners. Got one back there.
Service over. 7-9.
Needed that. I have to say, remaining where it was in the second game. In the reach of Vittinghus here. And that's what happens when you well played. That's brilliant from Vittinghus. A questioning look from Chou to the umpire, but it was good. Really good. And it's Vittinghus who has the edge in this third set in the men's singles semi-final in New York. Of course, Vittinghus doesn't have a coach, but he knows he has only a 4-point lead, but it's a crucial advantage. Chou with his coach here with him, really got his work cut out now.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
And then you have to hand it to Vittinghus. Comprehensively dismantled, wasn't he, in that opening game, muttering to himself, the errors strewn. Very different story now. And you know, we spoke about it yesterday, I've spoken about it here today as well, working hard on the mental side of things. And you know, not everyone is a believer in that, but if you are, it can make the difference in it. Vittinghus able to turn up his ability as well. Can he see it through though?
Oh! 12-7.
Another questioning look from Chou. I think this one is well on the line. Of course, at Super Series events now and big events like the World Championships, there is TV evidence and players get a chance to go to TV referrals, not here. Needs to be getting on that front foot as quickly as he can. Chou. Vittinghus just making sure there's no moisture. Well, it's difficult to see. I'm down at the end where Vittinghus is serving from, but Chou seemed pretty adamant that that wasn't the right decision. Having looked at the replay, it looked a correct decision to me. Well, it's a 6-point gap now for Vittinghus. And is this the decisive move in this semi-final?
Yes.
Looks to be so, doesn't it?
15-8.
6 of the last 7 points now have gone the Danes' way. Chou on a slippery slope, it seems.
He
just slipped there as he went to get to that Vittinghus. Didn't matter, he won the point. And he's completely on top of affairs here now.
Thank you.
Such a contrast to the way things looked in that opening game.
Oh!
That's caught the racket of Chou,
8.
which is why the point, despite I think the shuttle may be just drifting out, went the way of Vittinghus. Just clips the edge of the racket. It's a matter of when, not if right now, isn't it?
18-8.
6 points in a row, 9 of the last 10. Vittinghus 3 points away from the final. And there's another. He's a beaten man now, Chou.
8. Service over. 9-19.
it would take a comeback of massive epic proportions from Chou right now. Just a couple of points needed for Vittinghus, and well, a chance to be here tomorrow to play for the win,
19.
to win the title. Of course, the feeling is that it would be Lee Chong. Was that was out? Yeah. Credit, she made the right decision in the end.
19.
Gave it in. It was out. She gave it out. Watch the line judge there behind. You can see it's out. She gave it in. Then I think I changed my mind. Match points for Hans-Kristian Vittinghus.
Service over. 20. Match point.
There's on the Athletes Commission for the BWF. Here's Vittinghus. And a player on the verge of the final at the US Open. And for the flick serve. One match point save, many more to go.
Service over. 12-20.
Too little, too late there, you feel, for Chou. Trying to bring a bit of respectability to the score. I suppose you never know. Well, there's hope. There's still a way, but very unlikely scenario. Extremely unlikely. It's out. Vittinghus on his knees for the first time since Dubai at the end of 2014. He is in a men's singles final. And tomorrow he'll take either Lee Chong-wei or B-side Pranith of India on to win the crown here in New York. Of course, many feel it will be Lee Chong-wei. Of course, the Indian will have other ideas about that. But what a terrific turnaround from Hans-Kristian Vittinghus. Opened up a really commanding lead. Happy to see the drive from Chou go long. And after losing the opening set 21-12, he came back fast and furious, taking the next two, 21-11, 21-13. It's Hans-Kristian Vittinghus in the final of the US Open. His first time to America as a player, has been here on holiday before, and it's turning into a happy week for Hans-Kristian Vittinghus.
As a reminder to all spectators, no flash photography, strobe lights, or video recording is permitted during the course of games. Once again, no flash photography, strobe lights, or video recording is permitted during the course of games. Thank you for your attention.
So while we wait for the women's doubles to kind of call a look back at some of the highlights of the match, which began well enough and frustratingly for Vittinghus, but well enough for Chou, who sailed through that opening game. Some errors, plenty of them from Vittinghus, but the cheers for Chou didn't last too long after he took it 21 points to 12, because Vittinghus came right back at him, and well, much deserved his place in the final.
correction, out.